place for your amazing host.
Hey everyone, welcome to Sandals Church Kids. Here at Sandals Church, we are all about the vision of being real with ourselves, God, and others. My name is Joelle.
And I'm Avery, and we're so excited to announce our brand new series called Unearthed.
Unearthed is a series about the story of the Israelites leaving from a place called Egypt.
During this 6-week series, we'll go through the book of Exodus as we talk about God's plan for the Israelites.
A man named Moses who started as a baby in a basket.
And a stubborn Pharaoh who keeps the Israelites captive.
Then some crazy stuff that leads them to freedom.
You're going to see that God is full of wild mystery, but is also someone you can deeply know as he reveals who he is.
And when you know who God is, you know who you are.
During our time together today, we're going to watch some fun videos, worship together, hear a Bible story, and hear stories from real people, some that you might even know. Go ahead and print your Get Real guide from the download button below this video at sandalskids.tv so you can follow along with our Bible story and find activities to help you live out the vision of being real throughout the week.
Coming up,
We'll show you a pop secret trick. Find out what it is on Unearthed.
Not totally sure what a balloon has to do with the story of Moses, but I cannot wait to find out.
Same. But today we're talking about Moses and the River Caregiver from our story in Exodus 1 and 2. We'll look at the chaotic beginning of Moses' life as we see his mom send him down the Nile River in a basket.
Before we hear our story, it's time for one of our favorite segments, pre-show.
Hey everybody, thanks so much for joining us. I'm Mr. Coyote, and today I want to show you guys how to draw something. Now, when I was a kid, I loved to draw, and I still love to draw today. You couldn't find a Post-it note or a note card or a book or toilet paper that didn't have a drawing that I did when I was a kid. But sometimes I would get discouraged. See, I would see other people who were probably way better than me. They were drawing things like Ninja Turtles and Pokemon and all these really cool things, and I just wasn't there yet. And it wasn't until I realized that you can draw pretty much anything out of basic shapes that I started growing in confidence. So I want to teach you guys how to draw a character using basic shapes. So we have shapes like circles or triangles, which have 3 sides. Or we have a rectangle or square, which has 4 sides. We have the pentagon, which has 5 sides. We have the hexagon, which has 6 sides. We have the heptagon, which has 7 sides. We have the octagon that has 8 sides, and it goes on and on. But the shapes that we're focusing on today to build our character are the circle, the square or rectangle, and the triangle. So these might not look like characters that you've seen before. Like, what does this circle look like? Not too special yet, but if I added 2 circles at the top, now what does the character look like? Yeah, that's right, Mickey Mouse. And if you add a little bit, like a nose, all right, and how about the eyes? Yep, and mouth, tongue. We took the basic shape of a circle and we were able to make Mickey Mouse, which you've probably seen so many places. And maybe you thought Mickey Mouse is hard to draw, but now you know, oh, he's basically built out of circles. Let's take a look at the rectangle. What does the rectangle look like? Yeah, I'm not sure either, but let's see. If we gave a nose and cheek and a smile. Oh, starting to look like someone we know. Well, what do you know? If you guessed SpongeBob, you are right. And there's his eyelashes. And of course, he's a sponge with pants. You get the picture. just by adding a few more details to this rectangle, we were able to turn it into SpongeBob. And how about our triangle here? Ooh, that one's a little different. But what if we add an eyeball up here? And another eyeball next to it. There we go. The eyebrows will open up where the mouth is, the nice smile and teeth. And give it a neck, ears. If you said Phineas from Phineas and Ferb, you are right. As you noticed, we were able to build Phineas from Phineas and Ferb out of just a triangle. Today, I want to teach you guys how to draw a pig. A pig is very simple, so if you guys have a pencil or paper, markers, crayons, go find it. I'll give you a second. And if you don't have anything right now, that's totally okay. You can just watch this video, you can pause it, you can go get something. If you don't have paper, you can just watch along. But the thing that I want to help you guys understand is that drawing really is basic shapes. If you take a square and add some wheels, you can have a car, or you can make a cereal box, or all types of fun things. Take your paper, your pencil, pen, whatever you have, and let's follow along, okay? So we're gonna start with an oval, a nice, big oval. This is the body of our pig. So draw your oval, all right? If I'm going too fast for you, you can pause it and catch up. The next thing we're gonna do are 3 triangles. So let's do one kind of at the top left. The first triangle. And then we're gonna do one close to the top in the middle. And then one on the outside right here. Okay, so what this is, these are the pig's 2 ears and the pig's nose. So if it's a nose, we're gonna give the little nose holes right there. All right, very good. Step number 3, I want you guys to draw 4 rectangles at the bottom of the pig. All right, so here's our first. This is gonna be the legs. Second rectangle, third, and fourth. Now, I want you guys to draw 8 triangles for the hooves. These are very simple. All right, 1 triangle, 2 triangles, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How are you guys doing? You have your oval, your 3 triangles, your rectangles for the legs, your 8 triangles for the hooves. Now we need to do basically a half circle, okay? So instead of drawing a full circle like this, you're gonna draw a half like that and a half. So we're gonna do the eyes. So here's our first half circle. Now this pig is smiling. It has its eyes closed. So there's 2 half circles for the eyes. And then we're gonna do the same thing, but upside down for the mouth. Very good. We'll erase the extra stuff. We're almost done. I think there's one more thing we need. Ah, that's right. We need a curly tail. And there you go. You just drew a pig with me out of basic shapes. I hope that you guys had tons of fun, and if you want to see another video with me teaching you how to draw, let me know. I had so much fun with you guys, and I'll see you next time.
Man, that was so fun. Next up, we're gonna jump into a time of worship together, which means we're gonna sing some songs that remind us how awesome God is.
This is a great opportunity for you to really think about God and who He is, and also thank Him for all He has done for you.
Take a moment and get real with yourself and with God. Think about everything you have to be grateful for. Maybe even take a moment to pray about it.
While you worship, feel free to close your eyes, raise your hands. You might even dance and clap around. How you want to worship God is up to you. Now, let's worship together.
In this life there are many things, like big houses and diamond rings, but nothing compares to you. Like my phone and my video games, I like them both, but they're not the same, 'cause nothing compares to you. and nothing replaces you. Are there any gods like you, God? No, no, no. There are no gods like you, God. No, no, no. You are wonderfully holy and amazingly powerful, and you do great miracles. Are there any gods like you, God? No, no, no. There are no gods like you, God. No, no, no. You are wonderfully holy and amazingly powerful, and you do great miracles.
No other God can split the sea. No other God gets capital G. Other gods are made of sticks and stones, but you're the only God that's on the throne. You're the only God who gave life to me, and the only one who died for me. Nothing compares to you. Nothing compares to you.
Are there any gods like you, God? No, no, no. There are no gods like you, God. No, no, no. You are wonderfully holy and amazingly powerful, and you do great miracles. Are there any gods like you, God? No, no, no. There are no gods like you, God. No, no, no. You are wonderfully holy and amazingly powerful. Yeah, there are no gods beside you. There are no gods beside you. There are no gods beside you. Nothing compares to you. Are there any gods like you, God? No, no, no. There are no gods like you, God. No, no, no. You are wonderfully holy and amazingly powerful, and you do great miracles. Are there any gods like you, God? No, no, no. There are no gods like you, God. No, no, no. You are wonderfully holy and amazingly powerful, and you do great miracles.
All right, friends, now for the moment we've all been waiting for, our Bible story.
Have you ever stumbled across a mysterious object half buried in the sand or dirt? Maybe in the backyard or a park or the beach? You probably wanted to find out more about it, so you dug it up to take a closer look, right? You might have even had to ask someone smarter than you to tell you more about it. Sometimes learning about God is the same way. While God is too amazing and mysterious for us to know everything about, He does tell us lots of things about Himself.
God shows us a little bit about who He is in so many different ways. But one of the most important way is through the stories in the Bible. These stories give us a little peek of what kind of person God is and how He interacts with people just like us. So welcome to our series called Unearthed, where we're digging up the truth about who God is.
We're calling this series Unearthed because just like archaeologists discover mysterious clues that show us who ancient people were and what they were like, we can discover clues about who God is and what He's like through ancient stories in the Bible.
The best part is we don't even have to look very far because God chooses to reveal Himself or show Himself to us in many different ways. This week, keep your eyes open for a little tiny hidden robot Jeff in our video as we talk about how God protects us, and that means we can give God control. So let's dig in
3, 2, 1.
Imagine if you were on a hike one day with your family and you had just gotten to the top of the trail. You were still trying to catch your breath while looking out at the amazing view.
Then all of a sudden, you were falling, and somehow the stable cliff that you were just standing on had crumbled and taken you out with it. You would probably be terrified.
As you were falling, you reached out your hand and perfectly grabbed a large branch sticking out of the side of the cliff. Holding on for dear life, you looked down and you realized you were actually only a few inches from the ground below. So you let go and you popped down softly.
But then you saw that if you had fallen a little bit more to the side, well, let's just say it wouldn't have been a good day. Now, after you yelled back to your family that you were somehow okay, you'd probably celebrate that you'd been protected.
Did you know that the same kind of thing happened to a baby boy named Moses? Let's check it out.
Our story left off with Joseph, Abraham's great-grandson, saving his family from famine and being a great leader in Egypt. Now, fast forward hundreds of years. Everyone in Egypt has forgotten about Joseph, but not God. His family had grown and grown just like God had promised they would. Now, Joseph's family was a people group called the Israelites.
Sounds familiar? That's because a huge part of the Bible is the story of the Israelite people. They were named after Joseph's dad, Jacob, who was also known as Israel.
Now, the Israelites weren't just a big family. They were made up of many, many families of almost 600,000 people. That's about as many people that are living in the entire city of Denver, Colorado. So now, all that time later, the new king of Egypt, called the Pharaoh, realized that there were so many Israelites that the Egyptians would be no match for them if they decided to start a fight or leave Egypt.
So he ordered them to become slaves for Egypt. Now, a slave is someone who is forced to work for free for someone else. Then Pharaoh ordered that all of the Israelite baby boys be thrown into the river. Throwing babies into the river? I know that that is terrible and awful and evil. But this terrible part of the Israelite history is where our story picks back up.
One brave Israelite woman hid her newborn baby instead of following the orders to throw him into the river so that she could protect him. But after a few months, she just couldn't hide her baby any longer.
So she made a waterproof basket and put him in it and into the tall grass in the river to protect him. The baby's sister hid and watched him in secret from the riverbank.
Then Pharaoh's own daughter found the basket floating in the river. She opened it and saw the baby crying and felt bad for him.
Just then, the baby's sister came out and offered to take the baby to someone who could take care of him and protect him. Now, the Pharaoh's daughter agreed, and so the sister took the baby back to his mom. That way, the baby's own mom could raise him, and then when the baby was old enough, his mom gave him back to Pharaoh's daughter.
Pharaoh's daughter adopted him as her own son, and she called him Moses. The name Moses means pulled out of the water.
It's a pretty amazing story, but why is this random baby in the Bible?
Well, this story is the beginning of a new chapter in the big story of God and humanity. This one little baby was specially chosen by God from before he was even born so that he could grow up and lead the Israelite people through one of the most difficult and miraculous journeys of all time.
God chose Moses for a special purpose and then took care of him and made sure he was safe even when it seemed impossible. And did you know that God does the same thing for you? If you are a follower of Jesus, then God has chosen you for a special plan too. And you can always trust him to take care of you, just like he did for Moses.
That's why the one thing to remember is that God protects us.
Being protected by God is kind of like this balloon. What do you think will happen if I hold this balloon over this flame? My guess is that it won't turn out very well. Yup, I guessed right. Fire and balloons don't play well with each other. But let's just try it one more time for science. Okay, let's try this again. Let's put it a little closer. Maybe a little closer. It still hasn't popped. In the flame? Okay, we're just gonna let this sit here for a second. Still hasn't popped. So this balloon sat in the flame. This balloon is burnt, but it didn't pop. So wanna know the trick? There's actually a little water in this balloon that protects it from getting too hot so it doesn't pop. Like the water protects the balloon from popping even when it's on fire, God protects us even when we are going through something hard. Now I could have just poured water on the flame to put it out and then held the balloon over it and it wouldn't pop, right? But that wouldn't have been very cool. And sometimes God does the same in our lives. He doesn't take all the hard things, like the fire, out. Instead, he shows us how he protects us during those hard things. It reminds me of our story. God didn't make it so Moses' mom didn't have to put her baby in the river. Instead, he worked through that hard thing to show how he protected baby Moses and later in our story, all the Israelites. Moses' mom had to trust God and give him control even though it was hard. Our action step is, we know God will protect us so we can give God control too.
Hi, my name is Kendra, and I want to tell you guys about a time that I gave God control over a situation in my life. Growing up, I went camping all the time with my dad. And sometimes he would take me and my little sister, but this time he was gonna take just me with him. And I was so excited. But not only were we gonna go just my dad and I, we were gonna go with a group of some of our closest friends. And I was so excited to go camping with all of my friends. We would circle up all of our tents, we would gather together, we would have a campfire. But traditionally when we would go camping, there were two types of kids that would go. There were the big kids and there were the little kids. And this time I was a big kid and I was so ready to be a big kid at camp. The big kids would take their bikes and they would go out off the trails, through the trees, through the rocks, through the rivers. There was a tire swing that I didn't even know existed. And here's the thing, because we were big kids this year, we didn't need an adult. So all the adults stayed back at the campgrounds, but me and the big kids, we went rolling out. And I started to realize these kids know where everything is more than I do. They were able to go faster and further than I was. And unfortunately, not only did I get left behind, I got lost. I couldn't remember where we were, when we turned, which tree we went over, which tree we went under, which rock meant to turn left, or which tree meant to turn right. It started to get cold. We were down by the beach. I could hear the waves crashing, and it was freezing. And I started to realize there was no way that I was going to be able to get myself back by myself. So I paused, I prayed, and I said, God, I don't know what to do. I don't know where I am. Can you help me get back? And literally at the end of the path, I see a flashlight and it's flashing back and forth on the ground on the trail. And when I got there, it was my dad. My dad was standing at the end of the path, calling out for me with a flashlight, ready to receive me. And what I realized was I was never truly alone. I found out way later that my dad actually knew pretty much where I was the entire time. But what I want to let you guys know is, just like I did in that moment where I realized there was nothing that I could do to get myself back, God was in control. Just like I gave God control over being lost and confused in the forest, you guys can give God control over your life as well.
Let's take a quick look at our verse for the series in Exodus 15:11. It says, "Are there any gods like you, Lord? No, there are no gods like you. You are wonderfully holy. You are amazingly powerful, and you do great miracles."
These are great things to think about this week and even talk to your friends and family about. Download that Get Real guide at sandalskids.tv to find more fun stuff to do during the week.
And parents, there's a Get Real guide for you too. This guide helps start conversation about this week's message, as well as some fun next steps for you to do together as a family.
Definitely. Before we end, we're going to go into one more song of worship. So go ahead and get up and let's sing together.
God, you are richer than a billionaire. You own the universe and everywhere. You own the great wide oceans. You own the tallest mountains. You made the fish in the sea. You made the birds in the trees. You own the cattle on 1,000 hills and still take care of me. My God is more than rich. My God is full of grace and mercy. My God owns everything, and He still cares for me. The creator of the universe, and He is right here with me. He is right here with me. He is right here with me. Yeah, He is right here. God, you are richer than a billionaire. You own the universe and everywhere. You own the great wide oceans. You own the tallest mountains. You made the fish in the sea. You made the birds in the trees. You own the cattle on 1,000 hills and still take care of me. My God is more than rich. My God is full of grace and mercy. My God owns everything, and He still cares for me. The creator of the universe, and He is right here with me. He is right here with me. He is right here with me. Yeah, He is right here. Me. His love is so rich, it's never ending. Yeah, His love is so rich. My God is more than rich. My God is full of grace and mercy. Oh, my God owns everything, and He still cares for me. And He is right here with me. My God is more than rich. My God is full of of grace and mercy. Oh, my God owns everything, and He still cares for me, the creator of the universe, and He is right here with me. He is right here with me. He is right here with me. You're right here with me. Yeah, He is right here with me.
Hey guys, it is that time again to open letters that you guys sent to us. And today's letters come from Cole, Ben, and Jesse. So let's go ahead and check them out on our favorite segment called
Mail time. All right, so our first letter is from Cole. I love the letter, and I'm super excited because Cole actually drew a picture of some people that you might know.
Oh.
He drew a picture of us. I don't have a beard though, so I'm like freshly shaven, and you have blonde hair. So
Ooh.
he went with the blonde hair. You've had like
He went with a throwback illustration.
it's throwback,
I
Mrs.
love it,
Cowdy.
yeah.
I love that. I love your drawing. Thank you so much for sending that to us.
That's great. Okay, and over here in this letter, I have from Benjamin, and he is actually not from California. He is from the state of Georgia.
Yes, let's add it to the map.
That's right. And it says here he is 6 years old, and here is what Ben has to say. Hello, my name is Benjamin. I am 6 years old. I love your videos, and he loves Star Wars and Pikachu.
Don't
from
we all?
Pokemon.
Yes,
Good
so
stuff.
good. I love that. And hi from Georgia. So our last letter is from Jesse, and Jesse has a challenge for me. But Jesse first writes, Dear Sandals Church kids, thank you for believing in God. I really like your Mailtime character, and for that, can you draw me a Mailtime character that is a package? And then Jesse drew an awesome version of Louis Letter, but challenged me to kind of create a new character
I love that.
is instead of being a letter, an envelope is made out of like a box, a package. I love that. I love creating new characters. So yes, Jesse, let's draw our new character. And you know what? We're gonna have to figure out what his or her name is. All right, there is our new character, Jesse, and everybody who's watching. My challenge to you is, what is our character's name? You guys get to decide. You can write it in, you can draw your own. Maybe we should even turn it into a sticker. I don't know, but I want you guys to come up with what their name is.
I am so on board. And if the rest of you are wondering, hey, how do I send a letter? Well, there's two ways that you guys can do that. You can send us an email at mail@sandalskids.com, or you can send a letter through the mailbox at Sandals Church Kids, 150 Palmerita Avenue, Riverside, California, 92507. And you know, if you write us a letter, we love sending mail back to you. We've got an exclusive Louis Letter note that we're gonna send your way, and some really fun exclusive Sandals Church Kids stickers that we would love to share with you. So Cole, Ben, Jesse, thank you so much for writing to us. We loved hearing from you, and for the rest of you, we can't wait to see your mail. We'll see you next time.
You guys, thanks so much for hanging out with us today.
One last thing before you go. Make sure you're following us at Sandals Kids on Instagram so you can always know what we're up to. You can also watch more of our videos on sandalskids.tv. So check it out.
Thanks again, everyone, and we'll see you next week.